Alright, so we've already talked about edging, and in this video we're going to talk about the different ways that we can spread mulch. Okay, so the first way, if you have a big open area that you're mulching, then we can do what we call the dump and spread. So that's not what you do at the bathroom, but you take this whole bucket here and you're going to dump this whole thing out. In this big open area, I'm going to spread this whole thing out, okay? We got a good amount there. We're going to come over, we're going to spread the rest of it over here. Alright, and so when we have this really big open area, you can do that, and then you take this hard rake and you can push it to spread it out. And it covers a big area really fast. Alright. Alright, so even though we have this spread out, it's still really wavy. So we can't leave the mulch looking like this. We have to go back over this with a rake and rake it out to make it look really, really smooth and make it look professional. But that is the first option you have. If you have a really big area, just dump it all there and spread it all out to get a lot out really fast. So that's option number one. Alright, so the next option that you have is I call it the fork throw. So if you have to get underneath shrubs or you're going in between plants and there's still quite a bit of area that you need to cover, especially if you're only putting in a thin layer of mulch, you can take a scoop and instead of dumping it all in one spot like this, you know, and doing this, you take it and you actually fling it across the area. And when you fling it, it actually makes it bounce and it kind of lays it almost perfect. So I take this and I'll throw it across the ground, and that's how you get a nice even coat, and it goes in pretty fast, as you can see. Now if you need to get it a little thicker, you just come in and you just don't throw it as far. So you get more material dropping in a smaller space, and then you can use the tip of this and you can kind of move it around as needed. And that's the fork throw. So the next option you have, I call it the shaker. So we already had the dump and run, the dump and spread. We had the fork toss, fork throw. And then this one, I call it the shaker, because if you're gonna be a lot closer to plants and you can't really just toss it around, you can take, and you're only putting in a thin layer, you can take a good amount of mulch and you can just start wiggling this fork back and forth, and it starts shaking it out over the mulch. So that's how you get a really thin layer of mulch spread pretty thin. Sometimes you just have to shake it out some. Now one thing you never want to do, you never want to take this and shake it on top of their shrubs to get underneath it. Okay, so then we have all this debris over their shrubs. And the next thing is, you never want the mulch to touch the base of the shrub. That's why we don't want to shake straight over the shrubs. We want to take it and get close to the shrub. You know, we can shake it close, move it in a little bit, but we don't want to really get on top of the shrub. And that's the shaker method. So after you've spread the mulch to some degree and you've raked it out, you're always going to have a bit of waviness in the mulch, but when we leave the job, none of the mulch can be wavy like this. This looks very unprofessional. So once the mulch is kind of laid out, take one of these plastic rakes that are pretty lightweight. We flip it over on the back and then just kind of take it over the mulch, and this will completely flatten it out. And then if you really need to move mulch, you can turn it over, move it around a little bit, and then start flattening it back out again. That's all there is to flattening mulch with a plastic rake after you've spread it.